Well, good evening. Welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I am Steve Smith. How are you all today? I want to talk today about preppers helping preppers, and I have an amazing story to tell. At least it's amazing to me. I think you all will find it very interesting. It shows how broadly cast our contacts are and what can happen as a result of it. I have sitting off camera here the lovely and talented Kelly, my wife, because she just gave me a look. I can see it out of the corner of my eye. Because this story is so complex, I need to make sure that I check certain things with her to make sure I get it right. But I think you all will find it very, very interesting. I wasn't going to make one tonight, by the way. I haven't made one for a few nights or a few days. For those of you who have been wondering, if you know the businesses that we have, this is our busiest time of year. We are out there every day putting up Christmas lights for everybody who wants them up by Thanksgiving, and then we'll continue into it. And the weather has just been brutal there for a while. It was really nice today, but we have been working so hard. I've got an amazing crew, and I do my best to keep up with them, and I think every muscle in my body is screaming for me to stop, but I can't stop for a while. So anyway, I probably won't put up another one for the next few days. We're just so busy, but I will, either tomorrow night or the next night, I will put up one where I read the Stonemont's Thanksgiving story from my second book, where we have it here, The Revival. Do you remember that Rush used to always read out of his book what he wrote, the True Thanksgiving Story? People really enjoyed that. I enjoyed that. And he has it in one of his books, and we have read it to our children. Well, I wrote in my second book, The Revival, a story of the Stonemont Thanksgiving. And many people have told me how much they enjoyed it and have read it themselves and to their families on Thanksgiving. And so I will do that either tomorrow or the next night. Anyway, sometime before Thanksgiving, for those of you who would like to hear it and hear me read it. Oh, by the way, one thing before we get into the topic today, for those of you wanting to give the series, the Stonemont series, as Christmas presents, I would not suggest that you send orders to me at this time. You might not be able to get them before Christmas, but Amazon can get them to you, and you can get them from Amazon in either paperback, for gifts, or Kindle for yourself, or both for yourself. The link on how to get them is down there. If you aren't time sensitive and you still want to get autographed copies from me, that way to get them is also down there, but I can't promise by Christmas. Okay. Now, listen carefully, Kelly, because you know how complicated this story is, and I want to make sure did you hear that? She says she'll correct me. Okay. It starts with my sister-in-law, who is Kelly's sister-in-law, who I suppose is also mine. I'm not sure how that works exactly, but it's her brother's wife. Some time ago, sent one of my videos, one of the Integrative Preparedness videos, to a friend of hers. Okay, I don't know what it was. I'm not sure that she told me which one it was, but she sent it. And she does that, as people do. They send these videos. And by the way, feel free to spread these videos, to send them to people that you want to see them. And so then sometime, was it this summer that her friend, her neighbor, was taking a trip? Honey?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
She's
yeah.
over there reading her phone too, so she's trying to do some business on her own. She was taking a trip somewhere and visiting a friend out of state somewhere, and her friend told her there's this.
It was a distant relative.
Oh, a distant relative. Okay, a distant relative in some other state says, you have to listen to this guy. And I want you to listen to these videos. And she said, so she did, and she got to thinking. She says, I've seen this guy before somewhere. And actually, I have a couple of other stories kind of like this. Maybe I'll tell another time. But this one, I'll tell now. And she says, I've seen this guy before. So she realized, and she says it was Integrative Preparedness. So she remembered Jane, my sister-in-law. She thought it was from Jane, so she called Jane. She says, don't you know a guy, or aren't you related, or somehow know this guy on integrative preparedness? Jane said, yeah, that's my brother-in-law. Oh, okay, so that's story number one. You have to keep that in mind as we jump now to story number two that fits in with it. Over the summertime, Kelly had a booth that was out in Olathe at the Old Settlers Day, where she put on her soaps and everything like that. Had a great time. And several of our viewers dropped by to say hi, two of whom were Mike and Jennifer. I won't say their last names. Mike and Jennifer, who spent some time there talking to us. Well, they live out south of us a ways, and Mike was telling me about that he had put together a couple of prepper groups, and it was very interesting. The guy is sharp. He does it the right way. Well, we came to like them very much. They had a booth out at another crafts festival. We went out to visit them, and you might have seen, if you remember, the Integrative Preparedness embroidery shirt that I wore one time and showed you. They're the ones who did that. They have that's one of their things. They homeschool. They're just wonderful. We got to know them a little bit. He invited us to something that their church does called Journey to Judea. And so we went. We just went Saturday night. And what it is you go from station to station. What do you think there was? Maybe 10 or 12 different stations?
At least.
Yeah, at least. And you walk out through the woods, walk out in the dark, and a guy's carrying a lantern, and he's taking you. And everybody's in character. It starts off with Moses. It comes through the Old Testament up to the birth of Christ, why it was necessary, all of these things. And it was an amazing program. What was the name of their church? Was it Countryside? Countryside Church in Olathe, Kansas. Is that Olathe, or is it Spring Hill? One of those amazing program. I can't begin to explain to you. I can't believe the work these people put into it, and we just all loved it. Well, anyway, afterwards, after being cold for an hour, walking around outside, but not really thinking about being cold because it was so fascinating what they did, we came back in and had some coffee and some cookies and things like that, and I noticed Jennifer was working the coffee pot. So of course I made a beeline for the coffee anyway, and I saw her, she saw me, and I told her how fantastic I thought the program was. Mike was still out. He played a part, and so he wasn't in. But we were, okay, my fact checker had to leave for a minute. So anyway, I was talking to her about it, told her what a great thing it was. A woman walks up to me and says, I just have to meet you. I want to introduce myself. And told me who she was. Now we go back to the first story. It turns out that this woman is my sister-in-law's friend, right, who had traveled to meet a distant relative who told her to watch Integrative Preparedness. Are we keeping all this straight? And she said, and she had belonged to this church and joined a preparedness group in the church that had been started by Mike. Am I getting this right?
I think so.
Okay. It's always good when your fact checker says, I think so, right? Well, I think so too. The circle that happened with this, and she says, and then they got to talking with each other, and it found out that both of them watched this channel, and which means that they're wonderful people, right? Like y'all. And through all of that, she ended up joining a preparedness group at her church started by Mike, another one of our viewers. Now, why is this cool? Why is this amazing? It shows you, number one, how many preparedness-minded people are out there in the world. I've said this before because I hear people go on and on, I can't find anybody, nobody's interested in preparedness. And I've said, if you want to find out how many people are interested in preparedness, write books about preparedness. And you'll think that half of the world is into it. Far more people than you think. Okay, so but the other thing is, is that as we talk, as we get together, as we share our concerns, as we share our, a little bit about ourselves, it's amazing the contacts that you'll make. And it's amazing the web that you can see grow out of this. I have several other stories like this that I won't go into tonight. But this was just the most recent, and it really was amazing. So in addition to thanking Mike and Jennifer and Joan for allowing us to meet them, I want to compliment them so much on what they're doing. They're really spreading the message. They're taking the message of preparedness everywhere they go. And my question would be, are you? You should be. I know a lot of people out there say, I just want to keep it to myself, to get on the down low. People will make fun of me. Well, okay. You know what? You might be surprised. I think most of us would be surprised at what people make fun of us about anyway, and we know nothing about it. May as well be something that matters to us, right? But take this, just think about this. It really is amazing. Later on, I'll tell you about somebody that I hung their Christmas lights today and how. Well, that's a cool story too. But keep on. Realize how many people are out there. How many people are out there really interested in preparedness? And if you open yourself up, and if you're willing to express a few of your ideas and concerns, you'll find people who then will help you and fortify you. You can help them. They can help you. And it helps the whole circle. And I tell you, all these people are much better off for having met each other through this. I feel that we are too. So anyway, take that for what you will. I think it's a great lesson. Thanks again to all of you who made that possible out there. For those of you who are viewers here who aren't a part of this story, maybe you could be a part of this story. Maybe you're part of a story out in your own world. Share that. I'd love to hear about it, and maybe so would other people. Share the stories about how you have gone out and expressed and let people know about, kind of discipled the preparedness message, and how you've been able to be successful, because the more people that will do that, the more people will be helped. And the more people who are helped, that was the purpose. Did you know? It wasn't just to make money. Matter of fact, I never thought I'd make a dime on these books. God's blessed me. I've done very well, and I thank Him for it. And I thank everybody who's bought the books. My whole purpose for writing these was to help people, to show them how they could prepare to survive and then rebuild after a major calamity. And these books are about community. It's not about one person. It's not about two people. It's about a few people who started off prepared and were willing to help other people, and how other people came together and rebuilt a society worth living in. So that's it for tonight. I hope that you all will watch whenever I get it out, either tomorrow night or the next. It'll be before Thanksgiving, when I read the Stonemont Thanksgiving story. Remember, we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. And you know how one of the ways you can start thinking about being prepared? Thanksgiving sales, Black Friday. I know everybody gets down on, they're just making this a merchandising, whatever. Hey, there's a lot of stuff's going to be on sale coming into the Christmas season. A lot of stuff out there you might need. So prepare well today. And don't forget that most important part of you, and that is your relationship with God. Your spiritual preparedness is always number one. But after that, your physical and mental and emotional preparedness comes second, third, and fourth. All right. You all have a good day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.